It's election season in the Philippines, and according to a recent Pulse Asia survey, politics is so divisive that Filipinos avoid discussing it in family group chats. It gets more complicated by the fact that in social media, anyone can get away with misleading claims, profanities, and fake news. During a divisive time like this, unfriending and getting unfriended by relatives and casual connections has become all too common, even as the official campaign season is still months away. It's a judgment call, said Danilo Arao, who teaches journalism at the University of the Philippines, Diliman.
Based on your judgment call, that a Marcos apologist can still be convinced, to look at the truth, not necessarily to support another candidate, then unfriending may not be the way to go.
Dr. Ali Gui, a psychologist and life coach, said protecting one's peace is an important consideration given the toxicity of social media and its real effects on one's mental health. Misinformation should be a non-negotiable, said Arao, who is also the convener of Paul Watchdog Contra Daya. But before making a decision as big as completely shutting out a person from your online space when there's still that possibility of discourse, Arao gave these guidelines on how to engage and talk politics in the context of social media that can also be applied in real life. First, be civil.
Use language that would be respectful of the other side, because once emotion gets in the way, sometimes vile language would follow suit.
Second, don't be elitist.
Yung paggamit ng wikang Filipino ay napakahalaga rin para sa pakikipagtalastasan, unless of course your audience would be more comfortable with the English language.
Third, aim to enlighten, not to educate. Arao said it's wrong to say educate because your vote matters just as much as other people's. The proper approach is to enlighten with facts and context if beliefs are based on falsities. For example, it's a fact that the Marcoses stole from state coffers based on data from the PCGG, which was formed specifically to recover their ill-gotten wealth. If a person disputes it, respond with reliable sources.
If we are all open-minded enough to learn from each other, then I think civil discourse would follow.
Lastly, engage publicly or talk privately.
There is a certain degree of relationship that you want to save, then you address that person privately. But if you've already burned bridges and you think that everything is hopeless, then might as well go public so that other people may be enlightened with your argument.
If coexisting in social media proves to be too difficult in the end, cutting ties is definitely a valid option. Dr. Gui gave out the following factors to consider before you hit that unfriend button. 1. Is it the only option? There's always that option of unfollowing or restricting the visibility of posts. 2. How important is the relationship? Relationships take time to build, so it's important to consider how much you value the connection and if you can really afford to lose it. Finally, how will it affect you? Would unfriending help your mental health, or would staying in touch harm your well-being? Every election is a reckoning for a democracy like ours, and for that process to be maintained and enriched, it matters that we all take the time to engage in proper discourse, not just on social media, but even more so, with the people in our very lives. But as with voting, when all's been said and done, the choice to unfriend is also ultimately up to you.